All right, so if you've got a newer gen Yamaha WR250F, so 2020 to 2024, like this model right here, listen up today because we're here with Scotty Keegan, ex-pro racer. We're going through what he's done to this bike from a racer's perspective, with a bit more budget to play with, what he's bolted onto the bike, how he's customized it, all the little tips and tricks he's done. Listen up. So back again with Scotty. Scotty tested this bike in standard form way back 8 months ago when we had this bike as a test bike. What do you like initially about the 250? Is the 250F a kind of a traditional bike you've ridden, or have you ridden more bigger bores than that? Or
I've bounced around between a lot of different bikes, bigger bores, and then I did a couple of years on 250Fs, and I've always liked the stock platform of the Yamaha has, especially WRs. It seems to suit of the wide range of riding that we do, like the faster stuff to the trail, to the like enduro style stuff. So I've always liked it, and this thing's been no different from stock. It's been great. It's been like it was comfortable straight away. I would like I made a few changes to the power on it, but in stock form it was really nice to ride. It was pretty mellow, easy, not too aggressive. Suspension was really good actually, and it still is stock, but it's been really good. So in stock form, I really enjoyed it. Probably racked up about 10-15 hours on it, and yeah, on a sort of a wide vary of trail and track, and even some motocross on it and stuff like that. So it seems to have handled everything fine. Then we slowly made changes along the way, which we'll get into, and then yeah, but from a stock perspective, it was great. Yeah.
Yeah, cool. So what stood out to you as where'd you start? So we had a bit more budget to play with this time. We did our $1,000 budget if you're kind of trying to do it on a budget. This one we're all right, let's blow it out a bit more. Let's take this into more from a trail bike and push it more into that.
Yep, the next couple of modifications.
Kind of race realm, as you're still doing a fair bit of racing yourself. So where'd you start?
So we started with the exhaust pipe. We added that, which made a big difference. Just opened it up, let it breathe a little bit more. It felt like it was slightly choked up with the stock pipe, which is a standard sort of thing. They always are on an enduro bike, but just to try and let it breathe a little bit better and try and take some of that restriction out of it, which I felt like which it had. The motor felt like had plenty of power there that just needed to be moved around. So I started with the exhaust pipe. That made a big difference. Then changed into the GYDR airbox kit, the power flow kit, with a unifilter filter on that. And then what did we go from there? We changed the mapping, and then tried to marry it all in together, and it transformed the motor completely on it. Really, it made it a lot more exciting, a lot more aggressive, but still easy to ride in any sort of aspect, trail or track or whatever it was. It was still really usable power, just a bit more everywhere sort of thing. And then from there, once I got a little bit more power, I messed around with the gearing a little bit, to change a couple of sprockets, and just fine-tuned from there on the power aspect of things. Yeah,
cool. So when we're talking about the exhaust, we're talking about the Kropovich slip-on. So you left the standard header pipe, right?
Yep, standard header pipe. Just ordered that and slipped straight on, easy.
Yep.
Bolted straight up, not an issue. Exactly the way that it's the stock one sort of comes off. This one comes back on. It's got a slight different clamp on the exhaust there, but apart from that, it slipped straight on, and changed the mapping to suit it. It was recommended, and then that completely changed it. It's got a good option where you can change the bungs on this one as well. So if you can run it with the smaller, restricted sort of bung, or pull it out and open it up. I liked it with the bung in. It was just a good mix of having had a good note with it in, still didn't sound you know, baffly or anything like that. And
Yeah.
It sounds pretty barky with it in still. So I left it like that, and that went on easy as.
Yeah, cool. And then the power flow kit. So
Yep.
slightly taller airbox.
Yep.
Different filter design. So instead of a flat filter, it's more like a traditional filter.
Yep.
That's got a cage on the inside. What I really liked about it too is you get a little bit more longevity out of your air filters as well.
Yep.
Being that little bit bigger size, not having to change it as often.
Yep.
Seeing your little tricky rerouting.
Yep.
Here with the fuel hose.
Yep.
Which is cool.
Yep. Just sort of change that around a little bit. Once I put the power flow kit on, it did, like you said, it just pulls it up that little bit higher than standard, and then changes the filter out. So I just rerouted the hose back through there to get it out of the way, and just neaten that area up a little bit. But yeah, that was so I sort of did it in stages. So it was the pipe and then the airflow kit, and the airflow kit I think made a bigger difference than what I initially thought it was going to.
Yeah.
So I think it just added to the whole, I was saying it was slightly restricted, it sort of just added to that, and just made it a lot better. Did change a slight little bit on the mapping with it, but yeah, I think it was a combination of the both of them which sort of really opened it up and made it, sort of transformed it really power-wise into a completely different bike. So
yeah,
still had the base like genes of where it was, but it just had just made it a bit more exciting and a bit more usable everywhere really. So it was really good.
Yeah, cool. And it's not a traditional mod doing airbox mods. Most bikes you kind of just have standard airbox, standard filter, so it's cool. Yeah, it's got the option on the Yamaha.
It's good you can do. So it sort of reduces that, as well as raise that top little bit. It obviously takes that backfire screen out of the from the standard one. It's got that little mesh in there, so it takes that out and sort of opens it up. So it's more like just doesn't have any sort of restriction there. And then like you said, a lot bigger filter. So a lot more air through the whole system. So
yeah, cool. So touching on the gearing, what did you do gearing wise? What did you settle on?
Once I made a few changes to the power, I thought that I could have. I felt like I was sort of in between a little bit of gears especially when I was more sort of trail riding. Felt like I was sort of jumping between second and third a little bit. Like I wanted second to just be that little bit longer, so I could hold it a little bit more and then feather it like through the clutch. So I dropped the rear to a 50. And then left this 13 standard on the front, and then that was awesome. That was pretty much everything I wanted. Changed it again for the better, and then I think that was a good mix for everything. But if you're riding more faster stuff, you could potentially go one less, maybe a 49 on the rear, and make second that little bit taller again. But for me, that 1350 was the combination that I liked, so I stuck with that. And that was just a GYTR hard parts sprocket. And,
nice.
And
yeah, cool. So back onto rider cockpit. So changed bars, grips, and seat. Being that little bit taller, you were saying that you found it a little bit cramped with a standard seat.
I did find it a little bit. Cramped, especially from new. It was fine. As the seat sort of started to soften a little bit, and I started to settle into it. It felt like I was just slightly, because I'm like not super tall, but I just felt slightly cramped between the foot peg to the seating position. Could have changed. So I put the higher seat on it, and that changed it around, and it's been great. So it's not heaps higher, but it is that little bit higher. Especially once it's softened out, it felt like it's where I wanted to sit. So that changed that too.
A little bit higher, a little bit flatter too. Did you find it easier?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, like it's pretty much sort of this one sort of carried on that same trajectory as that, and sort of arced out, and then more sort of as the other one softened a little bit, I felt like I really needed to come back up a little bit. So, but that was awesome. That was an easy, same deal. Just old one out, and then reclip this little thing for the fuel filler back onto the new seat with these trick little clamp thingies. So
cool. Another good GYTR bolt on.
Yeah, it was another easy fit actually.
Yeah,
so
cool.
Worked well.
Standard Yummy grips. I don't think anyone likes it. They're hard as shit. So
I ran them for a little while. Probably that initial before I started making too many changes, like 10, 15 hours.
Yeah.
Left them on there, and then they sort of started to like do what they do, and they're pretty gnarly on the hands. But once they lost that, they got that little bit of like shine to them. I ditched those because they were getting pretty rough, and then just went for that ODI grip, and then with grip donuts just for pretty much just for ease, really. Slip them. I like a no waffle grip, but I don't know, they're too easy to lock on grips just to have time to bug around for them more. I don't know how I like to when I was racing a lot, I don't know if it was just in my head, but I like to wire grips still. But they were easy, an easy fit, so stuck with them.
Yeah, nice and convenient.
And comfort wise, it's been really good once I made those few changes, just about where I was sort of sitting on it, and and it's been awesome.
And then bars wise, standard bars are real strong. It's not like you've gone to a stronger bar or anything like that. It's just more a personal preference thing, right? Yeah,
I think you got a little bit more like a little bit straighter bar than that was just a preference. The stock ones I honestly didn't mind either. It was much as that was just sort of what I was used to, but I don't think it was, apples and oranges different. It's just more of like a position that I felt like I liked on them. They're slightly sort of straighter bar than not as much sweep, but that's more like a comfort thing, I guess.
Yeah, so, personal comfort thing. Make each bike feel like your own. Cool. What about tyres?
Yes, I put the Dunlop MX33 tyres on with mousses, just for the fact that I was doing some trail rides and stuff like that, and just didn't want to bug around with tubes. So I put those on when I fitted the tyres up. They've been great. They're my favourite sort of tyre. When I was racing, I used the AT81 on the rear all the time. That was the tyre I liked, but now I just use the MX33s front and rear, and they're good.
Yeah, they're good. They wear well and they're super versatile.
Yeah, they're awesome. They don't seem to. The front doesn't seem to be like a typical sort of front where it starts to throw knobs on real hard pack. They just sort of wear, and then like they're eventually worn out, but they don't throw knobs straight away. So they've been wearing really well. This is the second set actually I've had on it. So just another good change. So
cool. You're talking about mapping too, so really cool that you can get in there on the smartphone. Change all your mapping and share maps around between mates. If you don't know what's good, you just send it and go give this one a go.
So that I didn't actually dive too much into the GYTR thing initially, till probably once I spoke to you and you recommended what you had previous with your mods that you'd done with the airflow kit and whatnot that you did. And then once I dived into it, I realised once I got into the app, like how cool it was in the way of logging your oil changes and your services and where the hours were out on the bike and everything like that. So but mapping wise, I think we've just gone a little bit more aggressive sort of everywhere. Just given a little bit more sort of everywhere on it, just to suit the couple of changes that we made with the airflow kit, because it was getting a bit more air through and getting it out a bit quicker. So we just ramped it up everywhere. And then and then I just use it now for the simple fact I haven't actually changed. I've changed the maps a few times, but once I found that one that I liked that you recommended and just tuned it a little bit. But I think the Aquapo probably made a little bit of difference there too. But apart from that, I just use it for the looking at the hours really and the servicing when I change the oil and that sort of stuff. So it's pretty cool, pretty easy, because it's like anything, like when you go into it you think it's going to be super complex, but it's actually
it's quite easy to use. Get your head around it.
A dumb landscaper can work it out. So it was good.
Cool. So you've also done a couple of little protective parts, just a little bit of insurance.
Just changed, so we changed the chain guide on it to a GYTR. It's like a hard plastic fit one. It was the same, went on piece of piss. Just for the simple fact that it's the standard ones in that like alloy casing tend to like where it's got a little bit of flex through the mount or whatever it is, like, and then they wear on your, like as it bends a little bit, it wears on your sprocket a little bit, and gives you sort of funny. So put the GYTR one on and haven't had an issue with that. It's been good. It was another easy fit. All the stuff, I think, because it's made direct from whatever, it just goes on like
real easy.
Yeah, it goes on super easy. So that and the GYTR case saver on the front, so it just takes that, like the plastic one back off the front, remounts that that other cool little alloy one, mounts in neat, and then change those couple of things.
Yeah, the case saver, I like it too, because that, not that we've had heaps of mud lately, but like even today where it starts to pack up, it really packs up around the countershaft sprocket there with plastic. You take the bolt out to like get dig all the mud out of there, especially if it's grassy or something. It does sort of jam in that front one. So this one doesn't so much, as you can sort of see. It just sort of sits back over there and then reduces that other little plastic shield that goes through there. So keeps it nice and free.
Cool. Easy, wash it out. You don't need to unbolt it or anything. It's cleans out easy. Yeah,
cool. And then you just ran a rear disc guard shark fin.
Yep, and then just put the disc guard on the bottom of it just to protect the disc from rocks. The only other change I potentially would make is, which I usually do, which I haven't had an issue on this thing, but I'd just maybe go to a solid rear disc to just to reduce a little bit of heat and get a little bit of squeak once the brakes start to get hot. But added the GYTR disc guard to it, and then it's all been good. I haven't been pretty bulletproof, all that stuff. Haven't had any issues there. It's got the front didn't really mess with anything protection wise. Standard bash plate. Yeah, it's good. It's really good. It's easy to come off and everything. So I didn't feel like we needed to change that. I wouldn't have changed it anyway. So that was good. Protects us all the radiator hose and everything. More than enough. So that's why I didn't change that one. And anything else, it's pretty solid bulletproof everywhere else.
It's been a good thing. It's been cool to watch you rip around today and watch you do a few races throughout the year on it. So
the handguards are stock. They've held up really well actually. Haven't had any like bent mounts or anything like that. So everything's been holding up pretty solid.
Yeah, cool. All right, well thank you. Thanks for running us through. And,
no worries.
It's been good. Exciting for people to get a different perspective on this bike if they got a little bit, even like trail riders that have got a little bit more money to play with, not so much a race perspective. But
and they're all relatively sort of affordable mods too, really. Like the biggest one would be just the slip-on exhaust system. Apart from that, the protection stuff is pretty minor really for what the time it saves you if you have an issue.
Yeah, exactly.
And then the seat, that sort of stuff is pretty minimal as well. The main thing is the exhaust pipe. The mapping's obviously free. The airflow kit made a big difference as well. So it's not crazy stuff, but it's just nice little mods to add to an already good bike.
Money well spent. Cool. All right, you can check out the full rundown of all these parts and RRPs below this video. And thanks for watching. Thanks, Scotty.
No dramas.
We'll catch you in the next one.